Season 9 of Marvel Rivals looks really, really fun. Now, as I clocked into work today, that's when the live stream started, so I had to wait until like 10 o'clock at night to view this thing. But I have a few thoughts. Okay, first I want to start with my recap of this season, 8.5. I thought the game was really good, but the games were really bad. And by that I mean the actual game itself, the balancing, what was viable, what wasn't, that was all really, really good. I liked it. I thought more things were viable than ever before. Dive was back in a big way, but it wasn't so oppressive like it was last time. There was a dive season where a lot of times in my ranked games, there was only one or two divers, but I ran a full dive comp one time, and the full dive comp got shut down. The enemy team locked in, countered us, and we had to counter them back on the returning side. So, like, there was a lot that was good about this season, but even though I didn't experience it on my main account, other people have experienced it. I didn't experience it on my streaming account, but I've experienced it on my main. The games have been really bad. Like, it's either you or the enemy team has absolute terrible, brainwashed people who've never played the game in their life before, and they're telling you, bro, Spidey works into Thing and Namor. He works into that, dude. He works into the two of them. And you just, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? And I didn't expect Season 9 of Marvel Rivals to be this big. We're going into that section now, because I have really nothing else to say about Season 8.5. I thought it was great, but the games are bad. Do it that way you will. But I pushed back my other content that I was working on so I could get this out as fast as possible, because it was just incredible. I really have a few thoughts. Jubilee is coming, looks really, really fun, and really complicated, with a really cool kit that I don't think is overstuffed, at least not from what I've seen. I haven't watched too much of the preview streams, so we'll find out in the coming years. These are just coming days. But I do have a few thoughts. I like when they let strategists do things other than heal. I think that's amazing. I don't like that when they go, strategists have to do something other than heal, we'll give them a high damage output. There's other things in this game that you could do. It's why I've been so advocating for. Every time I come up with a strategist design, a design that I go, this is a strategist I want in the game, it is always not a high DPS strategist. When I suggest Mysterio, he focuses on smokes, putting smokes down, putting areas where you can't see through because there's smokes, doing stuff like that. The smokes heal you, or I had the Tinkerer, and he is all utility. He doesn't do a lot of damage, he doesn't do a lot of healing, he is just utility, and I understand that will either be absolutely suck or be absolutely broken. I just want them to do something other than a lot of damage and a lot of healing, because now that's every single strategist. It used to be every single strategist is just a heal bot, and now it's slowly becoming every single strategist does a lot of damage to the point where they kind of do DPS numbers. And I know it's just on still bots, but that's kind of a good gauge of how much damage they do. So I'm very excited to see how she plays out. Obviously, I think she's going to be super strong. She's the newest character, so she probably should be. That's pretty much it. She looks really fun. Too bad I won't get to play her. Honestly, I'm upset. I wish it was the hood. I even went and I bought the 2015 Illuminati comics because I wanted to read more comics with the hood in it. I only read a few online, and so I never had any physical, so I grabbed a bunch of those. But now I guess I got a whole month to do that. Next, Regenerative Shield. GG's go next. I don't know shit about that. I hope it's good. None of the characters I play have it, except for Angela and Rogue, so we'll find out. According to Flats, it's one of the best systems they've added into Overwatch, so maybe it's goated. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Team-ups. I have a lot of complicated thoughts on the team-up systems, right? So, it's good. It looks really fun. It looks really fun, really engaging. There's a lot you can do. It makes things more playable. Like, you can play things into more other things. I think that's a problem, though. Right? So, what is the point of a team-up if I have it all the time? There's a lot of team-ups that look like nothing changes Like, when they showed it off, I genuinely don't know what the difference was between having the team up with the enhanced version and without the enhanced version. Like, the Dinosaur Punisher team up is a really good example. You get the guns. Pretty cool. And when Punisher is there, he can ride you, which you kind of don't want to do anyways, at least not in my experience. I see it once or twice as like a gimmick from Super Far, but nothing else. No one ever really rides the dinosaur for a long time for the same reasons no one really rides Groot, right? Same thing with the new Groot team up, Groot Jeff. You get the abilities not enhanced, except Jeff can be in there too now. Okay. Nobody's going to do that for the same reasons nobody's been doing that. And so that's my biggest problem with it. A lot of them, they don't seem like they're enhanced that much. I wish all of them were the enhanced version, but you had to have the team comp to play it. Because I think it's weird that, like, I get the Cap team up, but Cap's not on my team. What's the point of a team up then? I don't know. I think it'll be really fun, so we'll have to see how it goes. But and then there's also balance wise, like I think it was Punisher, and the one where his bullets pierce. I want to say it's Daredevil, but I don't think it's Daredevil. His bullets pierce all the time. Didn't look like that was a cooldown. There was no cooldown button or cooldown that was going on when he did that. They just do that now. Oh, and by the way, when I checked the patch notes, when he's got that team up going on, he does more damage, and his bullets pierce just all the time. So how do you balance that? You really can't. I mean, there's no real way to balance that, because what are you gonna do? Unless you go through every person it pierces, the damage goes down, because it didn't really look like it did that, not too much. But, like, how do you balance that? You realistically can't. And people are gonna go, oh, but ammo overload is so much better. No. Human Torch plus, just play Sue with the Human Torch team up. You don't even need to play Human Torch. See, that's the problem with it. I think the amount of team comps it creates are endless because of this unique perk system, and that is really, really cool. But the fact that it's endless leads to problems, because Punisher that always pierces no matter what, plus the Invisible Woman's shield that increases fire rate, just means that whenever Invisible Woman puts the shield on the Punisher that does piercing, now you have piercing you have piercing ammo overload, because it makes them shoot faster. If you saw the video, it pierces. It's the ammo overload speed. Sure, he has to reload, but it's the ammo overload speed. And he has healing over time with the shield, and he has a shield. So, like, what are we doing here? How do you balance that? There's no way to balance them, because the way that you can combine them. And honestly, maybe that's not as broken as something else. Maybe something else completely counters that. But I think there's more. I like how it forced you to play certain team comps. Maybe I'm crazy for that, but I hated when the team ups were bad, right? Because I'm thinking about, like, the Mag team up. The Mag and Psylocke and Emma team up that's still in the game. Why would you ever play that one? The other one seems so much better. When one of the team ups is bad, I understand why you don't play it, right? But there's ones that were like, they were good, or they had the potential to be good, and they just. I miss the feeling of, oh, I'm playing this, I want to play this for them, if that makes sense. I feel like there's not as much benefit for that, at least not around the board. There are some that are really good. My favorite part about this team-up system, though, is most of the team-ups are unique, creative, and fun. I talked about this in the comments of my team-up video, where I said my least favorite are just damage boost buttons, right? So the new ammo overload, I said that one is fun because it's interactive. Rocket has to place it for you. The team can see the area AoE of it where you can stand to get it, and they can play around that. And you have to, like, be coordinated when and where you want it. Now Punisher can place it himself, which means it is I place it down, I give myself a damage boost. Mag presses his button, gives himself a damage boost. Like, things like that. And I was very, very disappointed at first, because at first it looked like they started doing that, And I was like, oh no, they're all just extra damage, aren't they? And then they weren't. And then they added some really cool, really fun ones. And like, I'm so excited to play tank. Dude, there's some of them that I think are kind of worthless. Like the Star-Lord Angela one. I think that one might be a little worthless. Unless you're playing with Star-Lord and you get the bonus health for landing, because half the battle of bonus health is the spiky ground and the bonus health that you get. Every time I dive on the ground, unless that person, like, unless I've isolated them myself with my spear, I just kind of get blown up. Maybe I'm just playing it wrong, but I kind of get blown up unless I have the bonus health. Then I can last a little longer, and I just gotta get better at gauging when to get out. But if you don't get bonus health from it, because they're not playing Star-Lord, why do you use it? I feel like some of them are pretty worthless, but they all look really fun, even if they're worthless. I think it's going to be a pain in the ass to balance, and I am scared that it's going to become Season 0 all over again. And by that I mean everyone's going to go, it's all broken. Nothing's broken because everything's broken. We can just play something else that's broken to counter what they're playing that's broken. And it's just whoever plays better because it's all broken. And it doesn't really work like that. Because remember after Season 0 how we were begging for balance patches because this was overpowered and this was overpowered and this that we thought was overpowered is actually just useless. I think, and I don't think, I'm scared that in 2 months things are just going to become useless, or this is going to be way more overpowered than anything else. And once people start to figure it out, maybe this thing that went under the radar is actually really good. But I think what saves this is honestly the part that I don't like, that you don't need to have the person on your team to do that. That is both going to be the rise and fall of it. Like what makes it good and what makes it counterable, because I can counter anything that's broken because I don't need other characters on my team. We can just play any team ups we need to counter your team ups. You don't need like this run a certain team comp. It's not like, oh, we need the Hulk so that we can have this team up. You can just do whatever you want. Which is awesome. A Penny. I am going to play so much Penny in Season 9. I kind of stopped because I was like, Penny's kind of bad. I have to know other tanks. I knew other tanks and I was decent at other tanks, but I had to like really double down on playing other tanks because Penny's bad. Penny on offense now has a shield, so you can off-angle more effectively. And on defense, you get to bunker down with 2 nests again at all times, and you can just swap that mid-match. Dude, that's so peak. That is so peak. I'm so excited about the shield. I don't care about the second nest. I want to play offensive flanker Penny on hard off angles, and that shield is going to do me wonders in that department. I am so excited for these changes. I think, like, everything negative that I've had to say goes out the window as soon as I think about how fun this is going to be. Like, sure, maybe in 2-3 months, we realize how much of a bad change some of this was, and we really start begging for balance, because some of it's got to be balanced, and I'm not gonna lie, some things have to be shit for it to be balanced. Like, as much as I want Thing to be better, and I'm gonna get to him, because the only balance patch that I really care about is Thing. But as much as I want Thing to be balanced within the roster, he has his niche, he fits his role, he does what he needs to do for his niche. And honestly, if Thing was meta, we'd all hate it because he's not hard to play. There's no skill floor or skill ceiling to it. There's, like, once you've mastered Thing, it doesn't take long. Like, realistically, let's think about it. He is the simplest tank to play. Just out the gate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sure, there's higher levels to it, and you go, well, he's harder to play because as you go up, he gets harder to play. No, that just means the character's worse, so it's harder to make him work. It doesn't take more skill to play him, it's just harder to make him work because he's a worse character, meta-wise. And honestly, you have to do that, because imagine a season where Wanda, Cloak and Dagger, Thing, Squirrel Girl, they're all meta. That's just a skill-less season. You genuinely don't have to think to play the game. You don't want to think to play the game optimally, and that's bad. So I think maybe 3-4 months, we'll be begging for balance. But in the meantime, in the short term, it's going to be peak. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I hope to God. I feel like it's going to be so fun. And that's the only thing I care about, honestly. It's a superhero game. As much as I'm going to say, hey, I wish this was balanced, or hey, I wish that was balanced. The most important thing is that when I turn on the stream, I have fun. And I've been having fun this season, and I hope to have fun next season. These team-ups look really cool. My only other gripe with the team-ups. They said they're not going to be changing them or shuffling them around as often. Which, they didn't really say as often. I hope that's what they meant. I'm hoping they mean as often. Maybe instead of every half season, it becomes every season and a half. Or every 2 full seasons, Something like that. Because I do still want to see new ones. Maybe maybe we start working up to every hero having 3 at some point. I think that would be good. Or maybe each hero has 4, and every season they rotate which one is in. Like which 2 are in. And it's just like random or something. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. I do want to see more. I understand why they can't add more with this new system. At least not as freely. But that's my only gripe. I do like having the rotation. I wish it was on a rotation and not just like I added this one in and Planet X was in here from the entire beginning, but we took infinite ammo out. I wish it was like genuinely rotating. But I can't really complain with the overhaul they did, right? All my complaints are like, my personal preference. Because the new system looks really fun. And I don't think I can really complain about it. I think balance changes look incredible, honestly. Most of everything I would have asked for in a balance patch was there. And the only thing I really was asking for was Phoenix nerf, which Phoenix isn't really that good, but she's really good in, she's not good in pro play. We've seen them talk about that with Light and Fox and Flats, but with their whole beef. But Cyclops nerf, that happened. Rocket nerf, that happened. They took down some of the people who were in the meta. That was good. I think the way they did Phoenix was actually really good because what they did with Phoenix is they took off the damage from the anchor, which means all of her damage went down, and then they increased the immediate impact of her ultimate, but not her primary fire, which means her primary fire is not as good as it used to be. That's pretty decent. That's pretty good in my book. My favorite balance change, and I can finally stop yapping about it. The thing. They increased it. The height, so it's a cylinder of where you get grounded. They elongated it. They moved it up, which means that when you slam someone down now, instead of them having the ability to dash out of it and just ignore it, they can't. They can't do that anymore. It's actually anti-dive. They took the only true anti-dive character in the game and made it work. They actually made it work. I would have preferred if the actual, the running knocked you up and the actual slam pulled you down. I would prefer that. But I can't really complain. Oh, I've been waiting for that. I have a video about how it was worthless. I've always talked about how that is worthless. And it finally, because you couldn't react to anything with it. You couldn't react to things with it. You had to do it prematurely. And even if you did it prematurely, there's a chance you hit someone with the actual slam, they get up and they leave and they ignore you, or they leave and they look for your support to reposition, right? But I'm so glad. I am so glad. You don't understand how happy I am. And that's pretty much it. I think it's a banger. I think it's going to be a banger. And I'm going to read all 7 of those Illuminati comics before the Hood comes out. I have a lot of comics to read. I'm getting more tomorrow.